Hi everyone and welcome to today's session. What we will be looking at today is the new look Reconcile screen. As you can see, this is the new look. It's not so clunky, I feel, as the old look. I quite like this and I've been using it now since the middle of December when it first came out. And now that I'm used to it, I don't think I could go back to the old screen, the old look. So to actually make sure that it has been turned on in your file, if you go to your gear icon, which is the second icon from the right, under Settings, QuickBooks Labs, click into the QuickBooks Labs and just make sure it's turned on. So at this stage, it's not going to come across automatically into your file. You do have to go and switch it on, test it out and see if you like it. Once it's turned on, click Done. And it's done. Nice and simple, everyone. So this is what it looks like. Before I go any further and take you deeper into the reconciliation screen, I want to just show you the second tab. It's called History and Reports. This is where the history and the reconciliation reports will actually be found after a bank reconciliation. All we need to do is choose our bank account. In this particular case, we will be looking at the ANZ check account 123456, and there's my previous bank reconciliation. You can see I can choose different dates as well within the different bank accounts that I'm looking for. This one actually says I reconciled on the 30th of June, and that's my ending balance. There is no changes and there are no auto adjustments. I can view the bank reconciliation report, and that's quite handy because if I am looking for something, say 2 months or 3 months down the track, if you notice as I hover over a transaction and we can select it, it'll take us straight to the actual transaction. There it is there, nice and easy, quick in and out. And it becomes so much easier, so much more streamlined than before. And there's your print button as well. But if I just go back to all reports, and on the right hand side, the drop down menu, I can print that report as well from there, or I can undo. Now I want you to note, everyone, that that undo button is only found when the user is signed in as an accountant. Okay, so it's only the accountant user that can undo a bank reconciliation. All right, let's go back to our reconcile accounts and let's run and see how a real bank account will be reconciled. Now, the process is not any different to what it was in the old look. So basically, let me just give you a really quick explanation of why it's important that you need to process a bank reconciliation. And here's a tip, do it monthly, because then you'll be able to recognize if something's not quite right in your bank account, and you'll be able to track it quicker, like the following month instead of 2 or 3 months down the track. So you keep in a tab on your bank accounts. 2, if you reconcile to your bank account, you are ensuring that every transaction that has been entered into QuickBooks Online is correct. So you're not doubling up on a transaction, or you haven't missed a transaction, or maybe you might have accidentally entered in an incorrect amount when you are entering in an expense. These are the reasons why you need to make sure you do a bank rec on a regular basis. Okay? So the next thing that we will do now is choose the bank account, and we are going to choose the actual check account, which is 12345 ANZ. The beginning balance is when I last reconciled it. The ending balance, I've got my bank statement here. So it will be $132,678.17. The statement ending balance, I'm looking at my statement and it says the 31st of October. Done. Now, in these particular fields, I don't enter in the bank charges or the interest income because I prefer it to do it either manually or through the online bank feeds. because I will be able to choose the GST code. Because if you do note, there's no GST codes with these particular fields. That is coming soon, I hear. So let's click on Start Reconciling, which will take us to the new look. You can see it's not as clunky as before. We no longer have the debits on one side and the credits on the other side. It's more streamlined together. So let me take you for a walk through the actual look, and you can see it's going to be more streamlined. So first up, you can see that we're actually reconciling this particular account, and our end date is October 31. The amount of payments and deposits. So if I actually choose a payment, you can see it's actually going to start to add the payments that I'm choosing. Okay, so I'm actually doing a manual reconciliation at this stage. Same as deposits, everyone. Okay, but if I want to unselect them, we have, see this little circle just above. If I just tick on that, it will say, do you want to select them all? So to untick them, I can select them all, but then guess what? I can select that again and yes, remove them. So you've got a different few ways that you can unselect. So I could have selected and then unselected as well as I clicked on that as well. So a few different ways that you can do that. So the whole idea of a bank rec is that we need to get to zero, because the bank balance to start off with, the payments that have gone out, the deposits that have gone in should equal our balance at the end of the period that we chose. Okay, so that's why this should be zero. Then we've got edit information. So you could have possibly accidentally entered in the wrong amount, so you can change it, and you can change the date from there as well. Then you have the save for later if you want to come back and save this for later, or if I've completed the bank reconciliation, I could choose finish now, or I could close without saving, okay, which means that it would forget everything that I've actually processed and start all over again. Now, the next line, if you want to have a look, we now have a funnel. That funnel allows us to find a transaction. So if we're actually searching for something, this is where you'll be able to find it. So if we're looking for cleared status or not cleared, a particular transaction type, or a particular payee, that's where you can actually filter and find your transaction. Now, one thing I want you to note that we had entered in the statement ending date of October 31. See how we have statement ending date? Note that we do not have any transactions that go past October 31. If I untick that or even choose clear filter, what it does is it doesn't allow that filter to stop at the 31st of October. You can see we now have November and December and even January transactions. So if I choose select all on my right hand side, you can see I've even chosen December's, January's and even November's, which then it becomes a little bit messy. So here's a tip, everyone, just make sure that you are reconciling to the date that is on your bank statement. And I'll put that back on again. No, not December. It is October. And click on apply. As you can see now, we've got all our transactions that have been entered into QuickBooks Online pre-October 31. Now, the next thing I want you to notice, we've got 3 tabs. We've got payments, deposits, and all. I want you to also note on the right-hand side, we have 2 columns, payment, deposit. So these payments are payments that you've processed, that have gone through QuickBooks Online, that have actually been withdrawn out of your bank account. The deposits are deposits that you've actually transacted and are in QuickBooks Online and have actually gone in to your bank account, okay? So if I'm actually looking for a particular problem, or if I just want to look at, say, just my payments alone, I can choose payments. So therefore I can choose all my payments, yes, select all, As you can see, I now have 30 grand, 488.55. And here's another hint, everyone. On your bank statement, you should have a summary that has the total payments, so withdrawals that have gone out, and total deposits that have been deposited to your bank account, and you can start matching your deposits and payments from your bank statement to your bank reconciliation. I'm just going to choose all at this stage, and yes, I do want to remove them all. And I just want to show you what the deposits look like. As you can see, there's our deposits, okay? Or I can choose to check out both of them at the same time. So here's a couple of hints, everyone. By the way, before I go any further, see that print button? This is really cool if you have transactions left over, because of course, after you do a bank reconciliation, you should not have any transactions left over in your bank reconciliation, unless of course you're still waiting for the end of month transactions to appear on your bank statement. So you can print that off, what you see in front of you, or under that gear settings, I can choose to, let's say we don't want to see this reference number column. So if I just untick that, it will disappear, okay? So you can tailor now the actual columns that you want to see in your bank rec. But you know what? I prefer to see reference number. Let's see if I untick compact, and all it does, guys, it just makes it wider. That's all, okay? So it makes the row wider. There you go. Now, let's pretend I've got or you can't see it, but I've got a bank statement sitting in front of me. I know that it's October 31 ending date, and the actual balance was $132,678.17 that we added into our particular transaction when we entered into this window. So if I choose all, I should, for instance, balance to my bank statement ending balance, but guess what? I don't. I'm $89 difference. So I'm going to show you a few hints and tips how I can actually find why I'm out, okay? So in the real world, in a perfect world, I should say, all your online bank feeds come through in your online banking area, so you do that first. Make sure you have completed all those online banking feeds, in this particular case, to October 31. I often see sometimes there are a couple of transactions sitting there and they haven't actually taken up those transactions. So do remember, go into your online bank feeds and make sure that you've picked up every transaction that's come through until October 31. Now, that's if we're using online bank feeds. Now, we still have sometimes that we will be doing a process of a manual reconciliation where we're entering in our transactions manually. Then we need to manually balance off our bank rec. So therefore, we're making sure that we have entered everything in, or that we haven't entered something twice, or even that we haven't entered in the wrong amount. So let's have a look, and I'll show you a few ways that I'd actually do this. So I'm now going to click into my payments. So this shows me all my payments coming up. And then over the top row, I've got the total amounts of my payments. So I'd actually be checking on my bank statement what they should say, what the payment summary should be. I'm going to click on my deposits, and guess what? That is correct, because on my bank statement, it's coming up that I do have $119,131.02 come through. So I know that that's correct. Okay, but if I go back to my payments, I know that that is incorrect. Okay, so what I'll do is I need to look into it further. So as I look and I run down my bank statement that I have in front of me, I note that I've got an $88 that I've processed for Officeworks on the 11th of October. It's not sitting there, so why? So another quick way of searching this, you can use your filter funnel, or I would actually go into the search button, top right, advanced search, and I would choose all transactions that have been processed in QuickBooks Online, and the amount that I'm searching for is $88, because I want to make sure that this transaction has been entered, and there you go. That's our transaction we're looking for, but why does it not appear in our bank rec? So let's choose it. There it is there. I'm going to click into it. I can see it straight away. You know why? Because we've actually, when we entered this manually, we chose the Westpac bank account instead of the ANZ check account. So really easy to fix, everyone. Choose ANZ check account and save and close. Okay, so now I can go back to my bank reconciliation screen. So the way I do that is I click onto my gear icon, reconcile, choose the ANZ check account, and this time, please note, it says resume reconciling. So let's click on that, and there is our $88. Awesome. So all we need to do is just choose that. We're out $1. Okay, so as I go through my bank statement again, I do note that on the 11th of October, this check that I wrote for Stephen Seagal, guess what? That should have been $64, not $63. A very quick and easy way to fix this. So this is another way that you can find your transactions and fix them. Just click into that $63. It will then take me into an edit screen. And there I can now actually change it to what it should have been, $64, save and close, and it will take me directly back into my bank reconciliation, and really happy now because I am zero difference. So guess what? What does it say? You did it. The difference is zero. Your accounts are ready to reconcile. Awesome. So that, everyone, is how you reconcile your bank account. So our next step under Finish Now, that is what we click. There it is. Yay, you've reconciled your account. Click Done. And we're done, everyone. So let's go back to our history and reports. Let's choose our ANZ check account. And everyone, now we reconcile to the 31st of October. View report. And there's our report that we just did. Okay? Nice and simple, everyone. Let me go back to reconcile accounts. And you are now ready for the next month. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for watching. And as you can see, once you get used to the streamlined feel and look of the new reconciliation area, what you'll find is that you will definitely love this look and feel, and you'll never want to go back to the old, because that's exactly how I feel at the moment. Please do watch out. We do have a blog coming up soon on the updates area in the intuit.com.au website, and it's called Bank Reconciliation's New Look. And in that blog, we go into a few more hints and tips and what to look out for if something doesn't go quite right. So from me, Lauretta Finis, thank you very much for watching, and good luck with your bank reconciliation. Thank you.